Yo. Hey, Andrea. How goes the battle? Hey, Flower. Good to see you. You guys are slowly moving in. I'm actually going to do a little stuff on Darius today. The more I get it out there, the better. Hey, Scott Jackson. Um, so I'm going to talk a little bit about Darius McDougall today. I found some clips. People have been asking me. I actually found one of Nancy Guthrie, or sorry, Nancy Grace, sorry. And it's 45 minutes long, actually. I also found some other clips from Global, or Canadian. It was interesting to get somebody from a point of view from the States, like Nancy Grace. So it's about 45 minutes long. If you guys don't mind. It's about 8 months old, so. Plus, I'll talk a little bit more about the search. I got some more. I got a little bit more information today, but not a lot, if that makes sense. So I thought I could throw something together today. So yeah, good news for me. I have actually Saturday night. I'm officially now monetized. So I've got 3 tiers now. One's called Hunter. Second is Hunter and Prowler, and the third one is Wolf Howler. So I'm actually pretty excited about that. Also, I'll be doing a few more lives here and there this week. I'm actually close to 100 lives already. And not only that, I actually got nominated to go on to Turtle Island with Dolly. So, what's happening? We do have a new grifter in sight. I'm just waiting on the green light to go ahead and move on from. No offense, Scott. Good to see you, by the way. Uh, Time to move on from Zachary, I think. I'll give you guys a few updates here and there once we hear something. I haven't heard anything on that home front from his court date on Friday. Hopefully, I'll hear something in the next few days. My guess, I'm going to take a shot in the dark on this one. He didn't show up to court. So, that's my guess. But I do have a few updates with Darius, a little bit here and there. There is going to be another search. I'm not going to elaborate too much on that search, but I'm hoping to be there for that as well. I'm going to keep going until we find Darius, right? Oops. I'll get rid of that. I think. Put up my banner. So anybody who don't knows me, I'm Rob, or you can call me Wolfie. Don't matter. People refer to me as Wolfie. You can call me Rob. Just don't call me the other one, the A word. I can be when I want to be. Um, Basically, we expose grifters. I do a little bit of true crime when we don't have any content for grifters. We do have content for grifters. We have a couple actually. We had mine. Other than that, like I said, we're just waiting on the green light to go ahead with it. So, moving along. Today, I'm going to talk a little bit about Darius today. I think Darius McDougall needs a little bit more attention than what it's been getting. It's turning into a little bit of a cold case, I find it. When I was there last Tuesday, I got to meet up with Charmaine, and I also got to meet a couple family members. I was exhausted that day. I had about maybe 4 hours sleep from camping. Had a lot going on too on my phone, and had a lot trying to return messages and stuff like that as well. But I like to get away from all that and actually go out and search, and that's what I immediately did search. I took quite a few pictures. They're in my recent lives. I will show them again today, a few anyways. Then you get the gist of it. I've actually went in Google Earth. There's some areas in Google Earth I could not pull up, especially the falls and the camping site, so you get a basic idea where I was and everything. I was literally basically on the Alberta BC border, so yeah. Darius actually, Darius McDougall. People have been asking questions. If I could find it, there it is. So here's Darius, missing at the age of 6. His birthday is in December 18th or 17th, I believe. Male, race, he's Cree, indigenous, brown eyes, light brown hair. He was about 4 feet tall, 65 pounds. People were asking about his weight. He's 65 pounds. He was last wearing blue and gray hoodie, Christmas shirt, Christmas sweatpants, and blue Paw Patrol Crocs. Darius went missing while camping with his family near Livingstone, please, southwest of Hazel, across from Island Lake Campground. Last seen walking near his campsite, but did not return. He does have autism, and he may have trouble responding to others. He is verbal. He's been missing since the September 21st, 2025. If you have any information about Darius, please contact the Crow's Nest Pass RCMP 403-562-2867 or Crime Stoppers 1-800-222-8477 to remain anonymous. And the file number is right there, the RCMP file. Also, you can call your local police department for any information. There's quite a few Facebook pages that are out there. There's about 4 of them, I think. So yeah, that's the gist of it. Here, I'll pull up right close to his picture there. I'll get a better one. But the picture, the right-hand corner, top right-hand corner, that's the sweatshirt he was wearing before he disappeared. If you could see that. I'm sorry if I can't zoom in. I'm trying to figure out how to zoom in on this thing. I tried to hook up my mouse. Somebody suggested to hook up a mouse. Actually works for Mac, so shockingly enough. So I'm gonna have to go shopping this week. Time for a new mouse. Tomorrow, I'm kind of limited on StreamYards. I had to throw some money down on my credit card. It's automatically taken out on my credit card. I missed my payment yesterday, unfortunately. And because it's not a business day, unfortunately, that's what happens. They decided to cancel it on me last night, so that's what ended up happening. But I've loaded up my card today, so make sure that I can use StreamYards either tomorrow or Wednesday, so bear with me. I'll show some videos here that I have, some clips than what I do have, and then I'll get right into the search as well. We'll start off with Crime with Kate.
Hello everyone. We have an urgent case of a missing little boy coming out of Alberta that happened just a week ago. So time is of the essence. 5-year-old Darius McDougal is from Lethbridge, Alberta.
This is Crime with
a
Kate.
city
She did an interview with
250
him
kilometers south of Calgary,
8 months ago.
an hour north of the Montana-U.S. border. With a population of just over 100,000 residents, the nearby Canadian Rocky Mountains contributes to the city's warm summers, mild winters, and windy climate. Now, while we don't know much about Darius or his family, we do know that they would, one way or another, end up at a campground called Island Lake Campground, a recreation area between Crow's Nest and Hazel, near the Alberta-British Columbia border, 160 kilometers west of Lethbridge. The remote park offers a variety of outdoor activities, from ice fishing, regular fishing, camping, mountain biking, wildlife viewing, canoeing,
That is actually the actual Island Lake recreational area. That's I'm just trying to think. Was it near? That almost looks like the Bible camp. Pretty close to it, anyways. From where I was. Here, play.
kayaking, hiking, and more. The campground also sits along Island Lake. The Island Lake Campground is located in the middle of sprawling backcountry between two steep slope mountains.
I stayed Monday night right about here, right next to the um, um, the welcome sign there with the map and everything like that of the whole vicinity and everything. And the camper was actually right to the left, but it was about that far away.
Minute drive from Coleman and Blairmore, a pair of quiet mining towns. Sunday, September 21st of 2025, so just about a week ago or so as I'm filming this video, Darius would last be seen while hiking with 6 siblings around 4 kilometers south of Crow's Nest Pass, near Island Lake Campground. During the hike, it's alleged that Darius became separated from the group, and when the kids returned without him, he was to return to the last place he had been seen so that they could begin searching there. When they couldn't find him, 911 would be called, and authorities would arrive on the scene quickly after. And while we don't really have a very solid timeline when all of this stuff took place, from the sounds of it,
Thank you, I
Darius
appreciate
did
that.
in fact wander off. He didn't really have that much of a lead on the adults or the authorities. Yet it's been a week, and there are still absolutely no signs of him. The RCMP, along with conservation officers, would launch into action, as well as searchers from multiple agencies, including search and rescue teams from Alberta and British Columbia. The searches were being supported by drones, dogs, and helicopters. Extensive ground searches would take place, but they were not successful. Despite that, the searches would extend into the following night. The following day, on September 22nd, the RCMP would begin interviewing family members. It was also revealed that due to Darius having autism, he may not respond if people were calling out for him, which definitely complicated the efforts. I do also want to point out that I find it very interesting that there have been so many cases as of recently.
What they did was that night, they when it was getting dark, to lure him out, they thought they would fly a helicopter over, and they play Baby Shark through the whole time. So hence why I'm trying to get out, thinking of an idea, Baby Sharks for Darius hashtag. So
Where the child seems to have autism and disappears. And although it is mentioned that he has autism, he is verbal. He's not a non-verbal autistic child. During one of the most recent searches for Darius, they began trying to play his favorite song Into the Wilderness in hopes that it would draw him out. However, they would not reveal what this song was. RCMP Corporal Gina Slaney saying, quote, "There is a positive. The weather is very favorable in this area right now. We are doing everything we can to find Darius and bring him home to his family." End quote.
Darius was walking with 6 siblings on a remote mountain road near Island Lake Campground around 11:30 Sunday morning. He somehow became separated from the other children. McDougal has autism, and police say that may prevent him from responding to anyone calling his name. During day 4 of the search, dozens of people are combing through dense brush and steep terrain. They analyzed and dismissed what they thought could have been the missing boy's blood. An underwater search also came up empty.
Current search radius is at 3 kilometers and is gradually being pushed out to 6.6 kilometers. Overnight last night, search teams continued ground searches, supported by 1 RCMP helicopter 2 search and rescue dogs from the Canadian Search Dog Association.
Well, searchers focus on an area about 2 kilometers off of Highway 3 near the Alberta-BC boundary. The Salvation Army has been brought in to provide meals.
We're invested in our community. We're happy to help. And so when opportunities come along like this, when there is an emergency or disaster that's happening, it's kind of part of our mandate to come along and support our community members.
Despite some chilly nights and long days, officials remain optimistic that Darius will be found alive.
Based on consultation with a couple leading Alberta physicians on wilderness medicine, we are still we are working on the assumption that Darius is very much alive, and everyone is working on to a tempo to reflect that. We very much still believe him to be alive and are not letting up the search efforts as a result of that.
They say it's too soon to call this a recovery operation.
It's a steadfast hope, one fueling the efforts of those who are scaling the treacherous terrain of the mountains behind me. Terrain that's presenting its challenges.
It is such a vast, different terrain, thick trees, lots of blowdown. And if I was a scared little boy, there's tons of little hiding spots.
Brent Coinberg is familiar with the area, having traversed it himself countless times. He's optimistic Darius McDougall will be found alive.
I give the child a good chance of survivability because it's an instinct that we're born with. If we're thirsty, we look for something, right? And if we see something glistening, I imagine we'd see what it is. And so I'm very hopeful that he'll be doing like what we used to do in survival stuff and licking plants and then kind of any standing water.
Experts on the ground say the search has been detailed and methodical.
Just the amount of deadfall on the ground, the amount of rocks in the area, it definitely slows search efforts down to actually get that search done to a very high probability that Darius would have been found as we go through that area. So yes, it does definitely affect the search efforts.
Police say the 5-year-old was with 6 younger family members when he went missing, about a kilometer from his campsite on Sunday.
They were all young. There were no adults in the group. So our general investigation section is currently on scene, and they are doing very detailed interviews with everybody. So hopefully we'll have a little bit better of an understanding in the hours to come.
As the investigation continues, so will the search for the boy and the focus of bringing him home to his family.
It's a multi-agency consultation that occurs before that decision is made. Survivability and the level of detection in the area that we're searching are 2 very high priorities when they look at whether or not to scale back search efforts. I can again reiterate that discussion is not being had at this time. We are still very much operating on the assumption that Darius is alive and continuing the search tempo to reflect that.
The public is asked to continue to respect the privacy of the family and to stay clear of the search area while efforts are underway.
Search and rescue teams have been here in the Crow's Nest Pass for over 24 hours searching for a missing 5-year-old boy. While no results have materialized yet, crews remain optimistic.
We are very confident about a positive outcome. The weather is in our favor. The young man does not suffer from any health issues. There is no reason to believe that there will not be a positive outcome.
Officers say Darius McDougall was out for a walk with family near the Island Lake campground late Sunday morning when he wandered off and hasn't been seen since.
Right now, we're not ruling anything out. Initially, you go from a point last seen, and you can expand your radius from there. We rely on our search and rescue experts for that.
Dozens of search and rescue members from BC and Alberta, along with helicopters, dogs, and drones, have aided in the search efforts.
The terrain here is definitely varied and complicated. We are in a river valley itself. There are 2 small rivers that are also in play. There's a large bog that we continue to search, and some fairly steep, rugged, forested terrain.
However, police are asking the general public to avoid the area.
We do appreciate the fact that there is a genuine interest for people to come out and help. Right now, if we can keep our trained personnel out here, it's easy to keep track of them. If and when they come across Darius, they know exactly what to do.
Officials say the search will continue for as long as it takes.
During a press conference, Adam Kennedy with Alberta Search and Rescue confirmed that the area typically traveled by children with Darius's profile had been thoroughly searched. Crews are widening the search perimeters and venturing into more dangerous areas, including underwater zones. A potential lead would emerge when a
Wendy's.
substance believed to be blood was found in an area of concern. However, forensic analysis would determine that it was not human or
Hey,
animal
Monsters of
blood.
Chaos.
Adam saying, quotes, "When they are looking at a distance of subjects such as Darius may have traveled, what 25% of subjects in that profile travel, that has been searched. We're moving out beyond that, out of the 90th percentile. We're able to put professionally trained searchers on the ground, which will give us a much higher probability of detection per searcher than if we were to use members
Thank
of the
you,
public.
Wendy's. I appreciate
Our
that.
Emergency Coordination Center out of Leduc is in constant consultation with all the resources that might be able to provide support to the search, with Canadian Armed Forces being one of those. That conversation continues as to what assets they may have that might benefit the search efforts. Based on consultations with a couple of leading Alberta physicians on wilderness medicine, we are working on the assumption that Darius is very much alive." End quote. As of now, there is no indication of foul play. However, it was noted that all possibilities are being
Hey, Ben.
considered, especially when you see how close the campground is from the
Good
main
to see you.
road. According to Google Maps, it would only be around a 5-minute walk from the main camping area to Crow's Nest Highway. There's also the Crow's Nest Ridge, a forested mountain north of the campground, along with the Grey Mountain Summit Mine. There's also a couple of large lakes surrounding the camping area. So is it possible that Darius could have wandered away to the road and been kidnapped? Or could he have tragically fallen into one of the nearby lakes, or just have, curled up somewhere in the wilderness? It is strange to me that they have searched outside of the radius where he would have been able to walk in that time period, and they still haven't found him. This case is reminding me quite a lot of the Lily and Jack Sullivan case. Another case of little kids in Canada wandering into the wilderness allegedly and just not being found, even though searchers have gone above and beyond. As of now, authorities are still asking that the public stay away from the search area so that they don't contaminate the search site, especially if they have search dogs around. According to the campground's website, they have been officially shut down since September 23rd. The entrance for the campground was closed off to the public, as support vehicles, including quads, search and rescue pickups, and a truck carrying a large satellite tower drove in and out. The RCMP is said to be working closely with Darius's family, supported by specially trained victim family liaison officers who provide trauma-informed care and ensure the family remains central to the process. As of last night, the team met with the family to discuss survivability concerns, saying that his survivability is now less than 5% due to the terrain, exposure to the elements, and the time that has passed, which does make me worried that this is going to turn into one of those cases that isn't going to get solved. So what do you all think? Is there any other information that I just didn't find out there that you know about? Let's chat about it in the comment section below. If you know anything, please contact the authorities and say something. And if you don't, please just try to do
Thank
your
you for
part
the
as well
membership,
in
Ben. I
spreading the
appreciate
word on
that.
this case. Get little Darius's name and face out there, because maybe it'll get someone who knows something. Especially if it is possible that he did wander to the road and was kidnapped. Maybe someone's seen him somewhere. Maybe there was someone around in that campground, or someone that knows someone who's at
Anna,
that
welcome to
campground.
Howler
They know
team.
something or said something, and they just don't know to speak up. And let's also take one more good look at Darius for that reason. Little Darius is said to stand 4 feet tall with short brown hair and was last seen wearing a blue-gray hoodie and sweatpants. Police say Darius is autistic, which may prevent him from responding to others. My heart goes out to this family. I truly hope a miracle happens here and Darius is found
Hey,
alive.
Amy.
And as always, I hope you all stay safe out there, lock your windows indoors, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.
Okay, that's Crime with Kate. So I'm going to show another one here. Give me a sec here. Whoops. Didn't want to do that. There we go. Just give me a sec here. All right. I got one on Nancy Grace, but I'm going to show this one. That's the one I wanted to show last week.
On the banks of a babbling creek, surrounded by towering pines, a once beloved campsite has become a kind of prison for a family tethered to the worst day of their lives. Unless you haven't left this campsite, really, since that day, why haven't you been able to come home?
This is the last place I seen him. I can't leave.
On September 21st, Darius McDougall disappeared. The 6-year-old had been camping here with his dad Dallas, his dad's girlfriend, an aunt and an uncle, and his grandparents, Tina and Les.
Papa Clean was his favorite person. That's what he called his grandpa, so he's just a happy little guy.
According to the family, while the adults packed up camp, Darius and 2 other children had been playing a short distance away.
And they were playing about 100 yards back out in that direction.
And you said the other kids were 8 and 6. But after about 20 minutes, the other children returned alone.
She's only 8, but she was panicking, saying that he was gone. His grandfather and his father both took off across the creek looking for him immediately. Within, say 5, maybe 10 minutes after we were told that he was missing, I called 911.
We'll come and reassess into this from below.
What followed was a massive 11-day search involving hundreds of people, dogs, helicopters, and drones.
And what was found? Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
The RCMP say to date they have received no credible information to suggest Darius was abducted. But with no evidence that Darius is still in these woods, his family is holding on to hope that maybe he was taken by someone and could still be out there waiting to be found. If you could send a message to him, what would you say?
Hang tough, buddy. We're all looking for you. We're searching for you. Stay strong.
Where is Darius McDougall? A heartbreaking mystery this grieving family is desperate to solve. Heather Urix, West Global News, Crow's Nest Pass, Alberta.
Oh, where do I stop it?
We are hearing more from the family of Darius McDougall. The 6-year-old has been missing for nearly a month.
I'll
His
leave
family
it.
sharing that another child on their Crow's Nest Pass camping trip, one of Darius's best friends, has recently passed away. Quinn Keenan has more.
For the first time since Darius went missing, his family has released a statement about his disappearance on the Bring Darius McDougall Home Facebook page. They say September 19th, the family, including grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, Darius, his dad, Darius's father's girlfriend, and her daughter Kaya, went camping at the Livingston Crownland Campground to celebrate family birthdays. On the morning of September 21st, the group was packing up their campsite in the Livingston public use area. At the time, Darius, Kaya, and an unnamed cousin were playing on a nearby island across a creek where the adults could see them. The 2 kids looked away from Darius briefly, and when they looked back, he was gone. The children let the parents know immediately and began looking for Darius. His grandmother called 911, and search and rescue began setting up within 20 minutes. After 11 days of searching by hundreds of volunteers from Alberta, BC, and Saskatchewan, with no sign of Darius, the formal search was called off. We now know just over a week later, on October 10th, 6-year-old Kaya passed away in a separate tragic event at the Children's Hospital in Calgary. RCMP confirmed they responded to a medical emergency, and Kaya's death is not criminal. The family will not be commenting further on Kaya's death because it is unrelated to the search for Darius. The family issued the statement after receiving attacks online and continue to ask for privacy during this time. Quinn Keenan, CTV News, Lethbridge.
Okay. So what do you guys think so far? Give me a sec here. So that's basically so I'll pull up some pictures here in a bit. I just want you to get the idea. And I'll read it over again. People have asked about his weight. So he was missing at the age of 6. His birthday is actually in December. I can't remember if it's the 17th or the 18th. Male, he was indigenous Cree, brown, light brown, 4 feet tall, and he was 65 pounds. Gray and blue hoodie, Christmas shirt, sweatpants, and blue Paw Patrol Crocs. I'll find that picture. I have that, and of the Crocs. I also right about that picture on the right-hand corner. That's what he was wearing before he disappeared. I can verify that. The family verified that. I went down Monday and walked around for a bit. Also took a break, took some sightseeing at Crow's Nest Pass a little bit. I did take some pictures of the waterfall. I've got a video of it. It's in my past lives, but I'll show it again anyways. But he went missing while he was camping near Livingstone. He was actually in Livingstone, southwest of Hazel, across from Island Lake Campground, which is correct. Last seen walking near his campsite, but did not return. The story we got was they were playing hide and seek. I have information on that, but I can't reveal that right now at this point until I've talked to Charmaine. Charmaine and I have been collaborating on it quite a bit. I just wanted to show you some videos and some more pictures today, and get a basic idea of what's been going on. We're trying to give Darius a little bit more publicity than what he has been. Thank you, Mama Chipmunk. I really appreciate that. So, what I could tell you, I went camping I slept in my car Monday night. I got spooked about midnight or so. I ended up having to go to a truck stop in Coleman and stayed in a well-lit area. I didn't know what was in the bush at all. I thought it was at one point a bear or maybe another person. I don't know. I wasn't allowed. I did buy firewood, but I didn't feel confident to have a fire with it being very windy out. So I decided not to have it. So I still have the firewood actually. So maybe I'll use it for the next trip when I go down. There is a trip plan, another search plan. I can't go into detail on that though. Other than that, I'll show you some of the pictures that I do have. So give me a sec. Here is some of the area, at least anyways. I took some pictures off the, it was tough to do it. I do have a video of this. This was actually flooded a little bit when I was there last week because of the amount of rain that we've been getting. So that area has been flooded. That's just a little bit further down the road on Highway 3 towards the border, Alberta and BC. That's the actual where everybody was parked, the RVs. Alberta Ground Search and Rescue, the RCMP, everybody was parked on that side of the road of Livingstone, and then moving into Livingstone. So there would be, it's one way in, one way out kind of thing. So, oh, hang on a sec, guys. Here's the actual overhead view of the campsite where I stayed, Island Lake Provincial Recreational Area. It was right across from Livingstone. So you get the base idea. And you go further down, there's railway tracks, that's CP Rail that runs along there in between Lethbridge and into BC. That's Crow's Nest Creek Falls. The falls are actually after where they were camping, where Darius's family was camping. I have actual pictures of it right in the site. There was a couple pictures I missed. I should have took and I didn't. That part where they were walking down that path, it was in behind the camper, where the camper was parked. I missed a few of those. I got distracted because we ended up going to the campsite over, and we got told that there was a cougar kill there in the ditch. So I wanted to go check that out as well. So I got pictures of the cougar kill as well. That's the actual overhead view of the campsite. There's a road that bowls to the left, and there's a site right next to it where there was a lady that was staying there, and then Darius's family is right over, and they were right between the two creeks. That's the idea. That's what the creek looks like, or the waterfall at least. Anyways, I've got a video of the actual creek or the falls. Anyways, give me a sec here. Whoop. This is the Bible study that's actually right on the Alberta and BC border. That was one of the first sites we went to when I went to go help search on Tuesday morning. There's actually a path that you follow down through here and it goes to the dock. I have a picture of the dock overhead view of it. I couldn't get any pictures. I couldn't get a signal in that area, and Google Earth will not put me at Street View in this area. And there's certain parts of the campsite where they were camping I can't get in with Google Earth as well. So, but right about here to the right, they actually resodded it. They actually put dirt and sodded it, the whole thing with grass. Right to the gazebo, there was actual fire pit that was there, and it's no longer there anymore. There's the dock. Usually you walk down from that building I just showed you. You walk down here, and then that's Island Lake right here. It's a pretty big, a road runs right through it, and then there's an actual recreational area that I showed you guys where actually a little bit this year got flooded. I'll show you the, I've got camera footage of that as well. So I'll show you guys that. Yeah. But you get the idea. We were down there, down at the dock. There was about 6 or 7, maybe, yeah, about 6 or 7 barrels, maybe about 7 barrels, I'd say, that we tipped over, and they were sitting in between two trees. There were a whole bunch of kayaks. There was a whole bunch of canoes that we tipped over and everything. And they went on to a couple of them went on to a couple of searchers went on the dock, and they were kind of looking underneath the dock and everything, seeing if they could move the barrels. There's barrels holding up the plywood and everything. That was their dock. So, but there was more water than that than what it is right now with the amount of rain that they've gotten. So, that's the road, and I'll show you that's where the border is. That's how close we are from the border. That's Alberta and BC, right there. That's the line. So that Bible study literally waved over across tracks. We were actually on the BC side and then waved all the way back down towards the Alberta side. So we're right, pretty much stack dab right on the line. That's the BC side. That's the meeting point where I met the searchers. And then there you can see the tracks and everything. Okay, that's it for that. I'll show you guys. going up, way up. Oh, by the way, for my new members today, and anybody that puts in super chats and all that, I've actually got a sound effect. Go back down if I can find it. I just skipped it. Huh? You like that? So thank you for everybody that contributed to being members today. That's awesome. And the free gifts to free gift and membership to Anna. Thank you for that, Ben. I appreciate that. Also, thank you, Mama Chipmunk, as well. Oh, damn it. Closed out. Right? I like it. Once I get going on StreamYards again, there'll be a lot of that, hopefully. Scrolling up, scrolling up. I'm going to find you some more stuff to show you guys. Hopefully I didn't get deleted. Maybe I went too far. Oh. Sorry, guys. Give me a bit here. Come on. Oh, I'm disappointed. They must have gone. I need to start learning how to save on this computer. Pass all this shit. No, I don't want to talk about that guy. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that, Anna Apple Pie. Anna Pie. Sorry. Thank you. I guess I have to go back to the Wolf Howl. Damn you. No.
You work pretty hard.
I don't want that one. Okay. I got pictures up in my lives, so maybe go take a look that way. I'm sorry. I thought I had him up here. I'm disappointed. I thought I would have him here. My bad. I don't really want to send him back here through here again and then having to... Right. There you go. Thanks, Anna Pie. There you go. Okay. How am I going to do this? Well, can't show those ones. Here's one of the searches. I'm sorry I can't zoom in. I'll try and move the phone a little bit quicker. That was the very first search that they did. And I believe that right about here, the blue dot was where they were camping, I think. I can't tell. Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute, guys. Just give me a sec. Okay, here's one of the... I'll show you this at least anyways. So right about in this area, that's where they were playing hide and seek. That's what the blue tape there, that's... I believe it might be ground search and rescue. One of my mods happens to be retired from ground search and rescue here in Alberta. And they come in with color codes. So which area they search on certain teams. So when they slap tape down, it's usually, this team was blue, so they'll slap blue down. So that's probably what those two pieces of tape were when I went up that one path the last time I was there in May. And I went down that horse trail and I found two police tape there as well. So that's what that was. But there was a black and orange canister. It was black with the orange ends, and it was tied to a tree with a metal line, metal wire or some sort, with a weight, like a lifting weight, and it was sitting there. This family came and helped us. It was they were at the same site where Darius's family was. They actually gave us a hand, and they were searching with us a little bit just to get the idea of the site as well. And they heard all the news about Darius, but had no idea that Darius was still missing. There was one spot on the tree. If you go back to one of my lives, there's actually a sinkhole right beside the creek. The guy actually went down and he was pretty much almost to his waist, and we had to pull him out. His whole right leg went right in completely, and so he nearly sunk. So yeah, I got pictures of that as well. What else can I show you? Okay, here's the actual picture on the campsite where Darius was counting, and they were playing hide and seek. And right about here, that was the tree trunk that he was sitting on, from what I hear. Hey, smartass. And I got it circled here too. As you can see. Sorry, guys. Thank you. Here's the waterfall. I'll show that really quickly. I'll move you guys up so I can click on the mouse pad. So you can notice that it's pretty shallow. I can't see a kid like drowning in that, to be honest. It was pretty low, that side of the creek anyways, about further south from the campsite. So give me a sec here. Oh. What's this? Here's a map that I took. Yeah, there's lots of places for cocks to get stuck, but they didn't find them. That's the thing. And the Crocs were actually like a couple of dollars from Walmart or something like that. And they had no backing to it, like no straps, so they could easily fall off pretty easily, especially if he were to fall into the creek or something. And so, but here's a good idea of a map where everything was. This is a map that I found at the front on the the Monday night. I found a map a little bit to get the basic idea of the area. This is the path here that I went up the Black Bridge, went up out here and went to the right, the left, my other left. My other right, sorry. So went to the left. That's where I found the tape. I made it right about there. When you go any further that way, you basically hit the BC and Alberta border. Right to the right, I didn't go up on. Next time when I go, I will go on my own kind of deal. They were camped right about in this area here, I believe. And then right about here, I think. And right up to the right, that's where the mines were. I'll show you guys the mines, the overhead view of the mines. I don't have the pictures of them. I have the pictures of the mines. I'm just going to have to go back into my phone, send everything, and because they all end up getting deleted for some strange reason. So I do apologize for that. Okay, I'll get out of here. What else can I find you here? Go back to those pictures, and I'll find you here's the overhead view of the mine, the gravel pit, sorry. It's right to the right here. You see how big that is? There are some spots that were in here I was searching and looking at, right in here, that black spots there. But everything else is pretty dense. But it wasn't too far away. Maybe like a 4 minute drive, maybe. No, actually, it was a first come, first serve, but they've been going to that same site reserved for 3 years, maybe. The first, I can't really reveal too much what I do know. I still got to collaborate with Charmaine yet. So, and I need permission before I can release it. That's just the other thing. But here's more of the mine, or the gravel pit. That was the last stop we did. So we started from the Bible study or the Bible camp, went to the campsite, took some pictures. I ended up finding the cougar kill. That one spot I missed was in behind the camper. The camper was actually the grandparents' camper, was parked east to west, just before that trail, and I missed that trail when I was there. I got distracted with the cougar kill. It was literally on the next campsite over, more north of where they were camping, and so yeah. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was Anna. It was the actual usual one. Like I said, the last 3 years. Sorry, I might be repeating myself, but yeah, it's they've been going to the same site for 3 years. As long as they have a pass, they're good. So, but that's the actual gravel pits next door to Livingstone. So there's oh, excuse me. So further down in the next campsite over, north of that, there was a lady staying there. They did have a cougar in the area at one point, but I can't see a cougar attacking Darius unless it came from the trees. Other than that, and they usually attack from the trees at least, anyways, and they hop on their prey that way. It was pretty dense in where we were. I could see a cougar being in the trees, but we would have to be looking up for Darius's stuff in his Crocs, right? You would think stuff would fall down to the ground by a tree or something like that if he was attacked by a cougar, but there was nothing. So, but we found there was an actual kill. There was a weather station in that area with the fence. And yeah, so yeah, it was a fenced weather station. On the other side of it, that's where the cougar kill was. We couldn't figure out if it was either a big kill, sorry, or a cow, like an elk or some sort. So yeah. So I found a video that's about 45 minutes long. Would you guys be interested in watching Nancy Grace? She actually did. I haven't seen it. It's about 40 minutes long, something like that. Would you guys be interested? Just give me a thumbs up or whatever. Or listening to it. It's nice to hear like somebody from a different, from the States actually talking about it. So, I think, but up to you guys. I can show it. Just give me a thumbs up or type a 1 or 2 for no. How about that? Yes, no? Hello? You want to hear it? Okay. I will show it. Any more yeses?
Breaking news tonight. into the night, says a desperate family after little Darius, just 6 years old, vanishes on an extended family camping trip. How could a little 6-year-old boy vanish into thin air while the adults were watching him play with other children? I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. I want to thank you for being with us.
What was meant to be a peaceful family getaway in the wilderness of Alberta, Canada, has turned into a devastating mystery. The McDougall family, eager to create lasting memories, was thrown into chaos when one of the young children wandered off.
I have taken the children from a very young age all across the country, RVing and camping. I'm not sure how you lose a child on a camping trip, but it's happened a lot. This isn't the first time a child has gone missing on a camping trip. The parents, the grandparents, there was extended family or family friends there. They were all packing to leave and go back home. And you know, when you're packing up the RV or the station wagon or the SUV, you turn your back, right? You're loading it up, everything is running crazy. But how could a little boy vanish into thin air and be gone so quickly he can't be found? Okay, let's start at the beginning. Listen.
6-year-old Darius on a camping trip with dad, grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, dad's girlfriend Buffy, and her daughter Kaya. The family gathers to celebrate family birthdays, camping in Crow's Nest Pass with rivers, creeks, hiking areas, and small islands close to shore where the children love to play.
Let me just start right there because I need to understand the terrain. Joining me in all-star panel, but I want to go first to Stephen Tipper, joining us from Post Media. Stephen, thank you for being with us. Could you let me start with the terrain, where they were camping. Tell me about it.
Yeah, it's a very uneven terrain. I mean, lots of different kinds of, from, level ground to high level, mountainous terrain. There's bodies of water there. It's obviously in the Rockies, so it's there's quite a varied mixture. That they were looking.
Look at those trees, Stephen Tipper. Stephen joining us, investigative reporter with Post Media. Check.
That's actually funny. That's the last town out of town going into Island Lake. That's one of the last towns. I think that's Coleman. I think. But anyways, the train's a lot more, it's more dense when you go further west.
Check it out, Brian Fitzgibbons. Fitzgibbons, Director Operations, USPA Nationwide Security, who leads a team of expert investigators specializing in finding missing people. Look at those trees, Brian. I mean, what I'm saying is...
That's the actual Crow's Nest Pass Creek that it winds all the way through town and out to the other side it starts off almost near just the outside of town off of, it's not Blairmore, but it's the next town over. I'll pull up Google Earth again and I'll show it. Just give me a bit here. After this video, and you get the basic idea. But where the three towns are, there's three small mining towns together because of the Frank slide, right? And so there's a creek that runs right through it, and it also goes right next to the campsite where Darius was staying. So, sorry guys.
A child gets lost in those trees. That's going to be really hard to find, even with dogs, even with cadets shoulder to shoulder. Did you see that picture we just showed, Fitzgibbons?
Yeah, absolutely. This is rugged terrain, Nancy, and you can see as the thick forest, the dense forest there makes not only the search complicated, but for the 6-year-old child who's missing, he's quickly disoriented once he's separated from his group. So, this terrain is possibly some of the least ideal terrain for a search like this to take place.
Fitzgibbons, I worked as a hike master in teaching tree identification, believe it or not, in a national forest. I always had to carry a compass with me, just in case. You get disoriented, like you were just saying, in those trees where everywhere you look, everything looks the same. That happens. It's a phenomenon. Dr. Trace Sargent joining us, PhD in psychology, focus on victimology, and in a previous life, search, rescue, recovery expert. It happens. It's a phenomenon. You get in those trees, and they all seem to look alike, and you get turned around, and you don't know which way, where you came from, or where you're trying to go if you don't have a compass, much less a 6-year-old little boy.
That's absolutely right, Nancy. Children at this age don't have the capability and the maturity and the growth of their minds to understand where they are, how to get back where they want to be. They become very disoriented. They become very frightened. Oftentimes they hide because that's a survival mechanism. Oftentimes they cover themselves up. They get underneath logs. Not only the challenge of the terrain itself, but then you have this very, very small child. In itself, it's going to be very difficult to see, even in the best of circumstances.
And to Karen Stark joining us, forensic psychologist, renowned TV radio trauma expert at KarenStark.com. Karen, okay, just for a moment, don't think about the little 6-year-old. Think about the family. When they realize he's gone, and I got to get back with Stephen Tipper about this. I still don't get how they're camping. They see him playing with the other children. They're packing. They turn around. He's gone. I'm trying to figure out that timeline, but think about them suddenly looking for him, Karen, and they're upset and emotional, and they're going into the trees, and everybody's disseminating, and it's basically all HE-double-L breaks loose.
Without a doubt, because how can you not be so upset? This is a 6-year-old. Their child, their grandchild, their relative and friends, and everybody is searching for this little boy. They would be in a complete panic, Nancy. You would be, I would be. What can happen? Anything.
Well, put Karen Stark up, please. Karen, you and I talked after this happened, and this is just a very small comparison. I've told you about John David before he was 3, and we were in that giant baby superstore, and I was crouched down trying to find organic sunscreen. Anyway, I stood up, I turned around, there was Lucy, no John David. Remember, I picked Lucy up like a football and started running and screaming to lock the doors up front that my son was missing. Now that you're talking, I've never thought about this before, but everything else seemed to be a blur, like a dark, gray, reddish blur all around me except for clutching Lucy and running to those front doors. I don't even know why I was running toward the front doors. I guess to try to stop the doors from opening and somebody taking him out. Little did I know he was playing hide and seek with Mommy and was a few rows away, but it took a minute to find him. But when you say they get disoriented, that can happen because you're so focused, tunnel vision on where is he, you're not thinking about what's happening around you.
And they're like...
Charmaine had a really good exercise the other night. Just think of yourself as a mother when you have a child and you're out camping with your family and everything like that, and you're trying to pack up and you're trying to leave, and your back is turned, right? And what she did was imagine yourself that little boy, right? What would you be doing? You're told to help pack up, and then would you be out playing as a 6-7-year-old little boy or girl for that matter? I remember when I was at that age, I wanted to wander off and do my own thing, right? Didn't want to be stuck cleaning or doing whatever, right? So, but imagine a parent, right? And all of a sudden your back is turned, and then it takes that split second and their kid's gone, right? So.
Like, as you described, Nancy, it's suspended animation in a way, because you really don't know what to do. You're not aware of what you're doing. Your heart is stopped. You can't breathe, and you're just panicking. How can you not? That's exactly what happened with you and John David.
I'm trying to figure out, though, how he could get away, Karen Stark, and just like that. As a matter of fact, I want you to hear these facts before we analyze any further. Tonight, where is this 6-year-old little boy? How did he just vanish into thin air? Listen to this.
As the family's packing up to head home, Darius, Kaya, and a cousin are on a small island directly across from the camping area in clear view of the adults. The children turn their back for a second and Darius is gone. Father and grandfather immediately begin searching, going different directions on the small island to cover the entire area, planning to find Darius before they meet in the middle.
Stephen Tipper joining us, investigative reporter with Post Media. Stephen, again, thank you for being with us tonight. Stephen, I'm still trying to nail down exactly what happened. And I'm not saying it didn't happen just like they're describing it. I remember when Samantha Runyon went missing, she was with her grandma, and grandma was at, I think, the kitchen sink looking out into the front yard where Samantha, 3, was playing with some other children, and a guy comes up and takes her out of the front yard just like that, and before grandma can get out there, he was gone, 60 mph.
Oh, wow.
So it can happen just like that. But I need to I understand the Runyon case. Explain to me again, how did this happen?
Yeah, so I mean, they were packing up and getting ready to leave, as you say, and I mean, you know, they just turned their backs. That's what the family says, and he was gone. You know, Darius is autistic. He doesn't like loud noises or bright lights, and that kind of did affect the search. You know, the searchers did avoid those kinds of things. They avoided making loud noises or bright lights during the search.
Stephen, I don't understand that. I do not understand how can you avoid loud noises and lights during a search. You've got to call out for the boy, maybe on a loudspeaker, maybe, you know, and as it got darker, I'm sure that they were using bright lights. How were they avoiding loud sounds and bright lights in search?
That night, they actually, the helicopter again, it flew over and it played Baby Shark. He can hear to lure him out of the tree. Well, lure him out of the bush that way. They tried that for a few hours. So yeah.
Searching for him.
Right. I mean, not to the best of the records, I'm sure that they were doing that. There were some sounds that he found appealing as well. He had a favorite song that they would use extensively during the search. They didn't say what that song was, but certainly, you know,
Baby
there
Shark.
were efforts to try and appeal to Darius.
Stephen, I see what you're saying. Would that be soothing to him, Karen
Hey,
Stark?
Quirky.
They were trying to play his favorite, maybe it was a lullaby. They haven't told us what the song was, trying to find him and lure him out.
I think that was a brilliant idea, Nancy, because children who are autistic, they don't necessarily respond to calling you their name. Sometimes they're afraid, sometimes they're distracted, and yet they need to be able to reach him. So playing his favorite song, that might be something that he could respond to. They get easily distracted. That happens all the time. They're impulsive, and they get scared. Any little child will get scared, but if you're autistic, you're particularly scared. Frightened. You're in the forest.
Joining me now, high-profile Seattle lawyer Ann Bremner. This is her neck of the woods. She's a veteran trial lawyer, legal analyst, author of Justice in the Age of Judgment. Ann Bremner, I'm going to thank you for being with us. When we were just describing, and there's Stephen Tipper talking about it from Post Media and Karen Stark about playing the music, all I can think about, Ann, is, as I still call him, Ann, you haven't seen him in a couple of years, but John David is 6'6" now. But I still think of him as little Lucy and baby John David. And all I can do, Ann, is think about baby John David out in that forest, and I'm trying to play his favorite lullaby or song to lure him out, and a lot of people have been attacking the family and the parents, and I really believe that is uncalled for. Just like when I was in the superstore, I was down on a floor level shelf trying to find organic suntan lotion, and I wasn't staring right at John David for a good 30 seconds to a minute. He had on those little tennis shoes and he ran several aisles away. It happens that the best parents have to load the car. The best parents, go in the kitchen to turn off the lady peas. I mean, and another thing, Ann Brimmer, regarding the attacks on the family, for one of the family members to have been, let's just put it out there, to be responsible for his disappearance. What, is there a big conspiracy and all the other family members are lying about it, not telling what they know? I find that hard to believe, that other family members are covering up for one family member that was either negligent or intentionally vindictive or evil. I don't believe it.
Well, Nancy, it's such an honor and a pleasure to be on with you again, and that's brilliant. I mean, you're right. I mean, how could everybody there conspire to cover up, a disappearance that was something that was caused by one person? I mean, that's just something that's going to be so difficult to stomach for anybody. And so the other thing is,
Right? Only takes that 1 second, right?
Like when you lost John David, God forbid, for a short period of time, why do the pile-on? I think they're having to stop their comments on social media because people are attacking them. Just kicking them when they're down. They're trying to find their loved one. And, I live in a state that's got a lot of mountains and a lot of mostly trees in Washington State, fir trees, and people get lost. Adults too.
Okay, Ann Brenner, you're a veteran trial lawyer, and you got to give me more than that. You would never stand in front of an appellate court where you've been many times, or a trial judge where you've been even more times, and say, hey, it happens. I need to understand how it happened, because we've all used Mark Class as the gold standard.
Right.
When his daughter Polly went missing and police came to his door, the parents were separated and said, hey, your daughter's missing. He said, fine, take my fingerprints, look at my house, go to my office, look at my car, we'll do whatever you have to do so you, LA law enforcement, can move on to find my daughter and who took her. And they did. And he was cooperative. These parents have been completely cooperative, but a lot of people online are stuck on the parents. Now, let's analyze why it's not the family.
Well, yeah, I mean, the bottom line is that why would they do this? What's the motive? Where did he go? I mean, where's the evidence that somehow they secreted him someplace?
Now that's important, because you and I both learned, and not to say why, why would anybody kill their child? Why? There is no good why. But that's a good point. Go where? Where are you going to go? Your whole family's there. Your vehicles are there. Where are you going to hide the child? And B, you would have to believe the entire group was covering for one of the perps, i.e. the mom or dad. That simply is not feasible. Okay, listen to this.
Searching the island and screaming his name, Darius seems to have vanished into thin air. 911 is called, and within 20 minutes, a command post is set up and organized searches by the RCMP search and rescue begin.
The weather is in our favor. The young man does not suffer from any health issues. There is no reason to believe that there will not be a positive outcome.
Global news. Bombshell tonight. Crime Stories now streaming first on Fox 1. That's right. You can now watch new episodes of Crime Stories first on Fox 1. And I am so proud to have a partner who furthers our mission to always, always seek justice. Watch episodes first with Fox 1, 24 hours before they are seen anywhere else. Try 7 days free. The brand new season of Crime Stories airs now on Fox 1. Click the link in the episode description to learn more and watch first on Fox 1.
6-year-old Darius McDougal, known for his infectious laughter and playful spirit, joined his father and sister's girlfriend on a camping trip. They met up with family, ready to create cherished memories, but amidst the joy, an unthinkable event was about to unfold.
Straight out to Stephen Chipper joining us, investigative reporter, Post Media. Could you explain to me who all was on this camping trip? They were there celebrating multiple birthdays. Who was there?
Yeah, so Darius's father, his grandfather, grandmother, the father's girlfriend, and her daughter were there, as well as various aunts and uncles and cousins were all there.
You know, to Karen Stark joining us, forensic psychologist, many people, and I'm not agreeing with them, but I want to address it with you. Many people are
I'm not sure why.
Say they just got tired of dealing with an autistic child. I find that vile to say the parents didn't care about him because he's autistic or they had just reached their limit. So what? They killed him? I'm not buying into that at all. Could you please address that?
Well, you know, that's what happens in these days. It's really terrible when people start attacking somebody, especially under these circumstances. They're traumatized by the loss of their child. And I think that it's just so easy to attack someone without understanding how difficult it is to deal with a child who's autistic. You can keep your eye on them all the time and blink and they'd be gone. They are distracted so easily, they can't help it. And they're impulsive, they run away, they're sensitive, every noise can bother them. So it takes an incredible amount of work. And to blame the family for any of this is so sad, Nancy. It's sad that that keeps happening too, don't you think?
Well, you know, I get the feeling of some of the blamers. You know, to Ann Bremner, high-profile lawyer joining us out of Seattle, and I think that for a lot of people, it feels better to have somebody to blame because you're like, I think I know what it is actually, and I'm going to ask our shrinks about this. You think, oh, the family wasn't watching him. That's how he got away. That's why he's missing, because it makes you feel safer. Because in your mind, you're like, well, I would never do that. You know, you can extrapolate this. Ann Brimmer, for instance, whenever, let's just think about Molly Tibbetts or Karina. There's so many. When women are out jogging and they get attacked and or murdered, naysayers say, oh, well, why was she jogging alone? Or why was she jogging at night? Or why was she jogging in a jogging bra? I mean, you can just fill in the blank because it makes you feel better, makes you feel safe because you can say, well, I would never do that. I wonder if people just need somebody to blame, but that's really not helping the search effort.
No, but you're so right on, and like Schadenfreude, and then like looking at something like this, like why do so many people like to, watch and learn about true crime? It's the same thing. I don't want it to happen to me. There must have been something. It must have been a jogging bra. It must have been where they went at night. It must have been, anything to look at and to blame. And finally, with social media these days, everybody's commenting on all these cases, and they're like, oh, well, I figure the parents took it. All the kind of things we never really saw before when you see everything on Twitter and Facebook and TikTok and everything else, these conspiracy theorists and those that want to blame families and blame people involved in a tragedy. Let these cases get, investigated in due course. Then we'll know what the real situation is.
Well, there's another issue there, though, Ann Brimner, because Fitzgibbons, joining me, Brian Fitzgibbons from USPA, Nationwide Security. Brian, the statistics are when a...
Look at it this way. They probably weren't following it because there was so much blaming back and forth with the Jack and Millie case, and you can see that, and there's so much drama and so many people have inserted themselves that it's a mess, right? And it's been going on, we're going on 14 months and just in a couple days, like Canada Day is Wednesday. So the 2nd is actually Thursday, isn't it not? So 14 months, and still pointing fingers. People are pretending like, I think there was well, I'll show you guys later. There was a Facebook post earlier. I don't pay not a ton of lot to Facebook, but it was kind of interesting to see that post. But I'll go back to that in a minute.
Child goes missing or is killed. Overwhelmingly, it's someone close to the child. The parents, the auntie, the next door neighbor. I'm moving out now. The neighbor, some weird teacher that has a fixation on the child, but typically within the family. So there is that statistic. That doesn't make it true here, but that statistic is looming.
Oh, the numbers don't lie about that, Nancy. That is for sure. And in this case, it's not, I'll disagree, with the previous comment. This is not a conspiracy. It's not out of the ordinary. This group was isolated camping, so no one else effectively was nearby them or knew who this boy was. So for the public to show a tremendous amount of concern that it was had something to do with the parents, it doesn't surprise me. I'm not saying that they did. It just does not surprise me.
Guys, I just want to give you a tip line really quickly. 403-562-2866. Repeat, 403-562-2866. So the search is on.
Initially, you go from a point last seen, and you can expand your radius from there. We rely on our search and rescue experts for that.
There are two small rivers that are also in play. There's a large bog that we continue to search, and some fairly steep, rugged, forested terrain.
From our friends at Global News, straight back out to you, Stephen Tipper. What is he describing a large bog?
Right. That was among the bodies of water that were searched more than once during the 11 days that they were looking for Darius. It was, there were extensive resources obviously pulled in, and that was among the areas of the search.
Dr. Trey Sargent joining us, PhD in psychology, but also previously search, rescue, recovery expert. My understanding of what a bog is like a freshwater marsh. It's spongy, quicksand would be overstating it, but mushy earth. Kind of like mud, I would say, with some growth in it, such as reeds or cattails. That's how I picture bog. Very difficult to search in, but also I'm wondering if a little boy, like this little boy,
Right, I agree, Anna. Anna Pie.
Into the bog and perish in the bog. It's kind of like a soft, spongy accumulation of dirt, clay, and plant, right?
Yeah, so the bog itself is exactly as you described, Nancy. And looking at the cliffs of the search area, it's really extremely difficult to find this child in those kind of conditions. And now you add the bog, the water, and just really extremely extraordinary difficult circumstances. It's really going to take all types of resources to find this child, from dogs to helicopters, searchers, drones, ATVs, even horseback, boaters. Every kind of resource is going to be needed to find.
The bog I think they're talking about is there's you go past the waterfall and everything, and then towards the blue bridge. There's a blue bridge, there's a yellow bridge, and then there's an orange bridge. The yellow bridge was there was a trench that was built by an excavator. I'm not sure if it was there during the search. I'm not positively sure, but that bridge, actually, there's two mounds of dirt in front of it, about 3, maybe 4 feet high, maybe. But to the right, Just before the Blue Bridge, there was actual bog, an actual field, and there was an actual bog right beside it. It was all water and everything, like a little pond almost. I think that's what they're talking about.
Find this child in this extremely difficult search conditions and the terrain that they're working under.
Well, the search and rescue volunteers mount to over 400 people. Listen.
More than 400 search and rescue volunteers from 50 teams of the search for Darius. These volunteers contributed to 11,000 hours of search effort on the ground. They were joined by 60 members of the RCMP Specialized Tactical Support Group that were directly involved in searching for Darius. The search extended up to 12 kilometers from where Darius was last seen. The distance traveled by ground search assets inside that 22 square kilometers on field tasks was more than 5,300 kilometers. The search extended up to 12 kilometers from where Darius was last seen. The distance traveled by ground search assets inside that 22 square kilometers on field tasks was more than 5,300 kilometers.
Bridge City News. Hi guys, the Fed has finally dropped interest rates, and that is great news for all American homeowners. Wages are flat, prices keep climbing, and for many people, the only way to get by is to use credit cards and build up all that debt. If you are a homeowner, consider calling American Financing. Interest rates have dropped. Many homeowners are seeing options in the low fives. Now, compare that to credit card interest rates, charging rates in the 20s or higher. That's a lot of money. They're salary-based mortgage consultants, and I say that because they don't get a cut of their sales. Salary-based mortgage consultants save customers an average of $800 a month. If you get started today, you may even be able to delay your next mortgage payment. Take control. I know sometimes it feels like you're drowning in debt. Call American Financing, 866-888-0344. Repeat, 866-888-0344. Or go online to americanfinancing.net/Nancy. And good luck.
Just across the creek, Darius was playing with other children near the campsite, and the adults were keeping a watchful eye. But in a single fleeting moment of distraction, little Darius vanished.
Joining me now, Crime Stories investigative reporter on the case, Dave Mack. Dave, let me understand what I'm just hearing. So, the little boy, Darius, is on the other side of a river or a stream, playing on an island? What?
Yeah, it's Nancy. The camping area actually is right on the water, and you're talking about an area that does have creeks and streams and ponds. In this particular case, you've got a creek, and it's not a big distance. It's right there, maybe 20, 30 yards, Nancy, and they can see the children playing on this little island. Now, as a parent, when your children are with other children, we tend to feel a little bit safer in what's taking place, the whole safety in numbers. And while
Hey,
they're
Kylie.
cleaning up, they're all keeping an eye on the children. It's not just one parent's child. It's multiple parents and family members that are watching after these children that are playing in a confined area. That's the shocking part of all of this, is that they were right there. And the children are the ones that said, we turned our back and he was gone.
Friends and family create a Facebook page, Bring Darius McDougal Home, where the family posts their first message to the public. In the post, they explain arriving at the campsite on Friday with the extended family members to gather and celebrate what they call a few birthdays. As the adults pack to go home, the kids are playing on the island adjacent to camp, just across the creek where the adults could see them. Darius, Kaya, and a cousin were walking, playing together with other kids close by.
The date's wrong.
And Darius was gone.
Okay.
It was actually
it doesn't
September
make
21st.
sense to me. They turned their back, and now he's gone. Stephen Tipper, I'm not saying that's not correct. I'm just trying to understand so I can piece together some semblance of a timeline, because nobody can just vanish like that when you turn your back and you turn back around. There had to be some intervening time period, something. What are you learning?
I mean, there's been little that has been, given to us by the family, other than the public statement that they made this week. And the RCMP had said that they were they received a call at 11:30 on that Sunday morning, and of a missing boy. There's the call came in about an hour after the family had begun their search for Darius.
Ann Brimmer, right there, they waited an hour to call 911. I also do not find that disturbing. And I'll tell you why. Unlike a child that goes missing from their own home, when the child is supposed to be asleep and you go in the next morning and they're gone, this is a lot different because they're out camping. They started looking for him first,
Right.
and then when they couldn't find him, they called 911. I don't find that unusual, Ann Brimner, not at all.
Yeah, I don't either, Nancy. I mean, the fact is that they're thinking, well, he's got to be here somewhere. I mean, he was just here with everybody, and everyone just saw him, and so they look. I think an hour is not extreme. I mean, the fact is they might have looked for him for more than an hour. Being satisfied they could find him.
But I will tell you a problem I do have, Ann. Control, if you could go back to those pictures of the forest where the searchers are gathered. I don't understand, looking at this picture, where he was. He was across from them on an island, but they could see him. And I have also a problem with the time. Not the hour that they searched for him. I get that. But I still am not buying into he was there and they turned their back and then he was gone. That's like 3 seconds. So what really happened? Were they playing hide and go seek?
Yes.
And he was hiding and then he was gone? The timeline is concerning
We'll
to
do
me.
that
I mean,
after.
look at that. How can you say he was there, I turned my back, I turned around, and he was gone? That part's not making sense to me. But let's hear from the mom.
As a mother who is very concerned about her son, I'm pleading with my entire being. If anyone knows or has seen anything, tell the police. Anything from September 21st till now in the Crozes Pass area that can help. Please keep sharing Darius' photo on social media, the update, so that his beautiful face is out there.
We've just exhausted all search tactics. There's just nothing else for us to search at this time, but there's nothing to indicate foul play is involved.
Okay, she's saying, that's Corporal Gina Slaney, she's saying there's nothing to indicate foul play is involved. So then, where is he? Guys, that's from our friends at Bridge City News and CBC. Brian, that seems inconsistent to me.
It's actually September 21st, so they got it wrong.
If you could rule out that there was no foul play, we would either have found Darius or we would have found evidence of what may have transpired.
Typo.
Right? So it's impossible to rule out foul play here, in my opinion.
How can he just, right off the bat, rule out foul play? How did they get to that, Brian?
Yeah, it seems that's kind of a whitewashing statement. There's no way to say that definitively, right? So I would have to assume, or I'd like to assume, that there is an ongoing investigation here, given that Darius has not been found and no body has been recovered, that the police are still
10 more minutes.
interviewing and speaking with particularly the children that were supposedly on that walk with him.
I'm just trying to figure out again regarding this terrain, Crow's Nest Pass. Is it heavily camped? Are there a lot of campers, hikers, travelers there, Stephen?
Yes.
Yes, for sure. I mean, there are several campgrounds in the area. I mean, it is a popular spot to go camping in the Rockies there. And it's, I mean, there are, lots of people enjoy going to that area during the summer and the fall. So it's a picturesque spot, to spend a weekend away, kind of. It's very popular.
Okay, Fitzgibbons, think this through with me for just one moment. We keep referring to this as a remote area, but the town itself has about 5,700 in population. But wait for this. According to the Atlas, around 300,000 people visit or walking through Crow's Nest every year. Put up Fitzgibbons, please. So it's not like the family is out there all by themselves, right? You ever heard the name Israel Keys? Is that ringing a bell? He was one of the most prolific serial killers in the U.S. ever. And he went under the radar, but one place he liked to stalk his victims, national parks, RV camps, people that were camping in tents, he loved it. And he spoke of it. And his words were matched up with actual victims that prior to his speaking had been unsolved homicides. So this is like a stalker, a predator's happy hunting ground. What do you think about that? 300,000 strangers a year.
Hey, could be. And, certainly for transients and, serial killers, folks with nefarious intentions, these places that have very limited control, campgrounds and things like that, are hunting grounds for them. So, is there a possibility that Darius was separated from his group and was abducted? Certainly. There's enough people there to make that possible, and it's isolated enough to make the search very difficult. So this is really the worst of a lot of potential scenarios here.
The search for Darius includes volunteers and experts alike. Ground personnel were supported by helicopters, drones, dogs, horses, boat-mounted sonar, swiftwater rescue, and underwater search teams. It is a massive operation involving multiple agencies. The search and rescue teams covered 13 square miles over rough terrain and found no clothing, no footprints, no signs of Darius were found. 2 volunteer teams of cadaver dogs also searched the area and detected no trace of Darius.
No. This is really not fitting together now. To Dr. Trace Sargent, you don't have a shoe, clothing, a toy, nothing, and cadaver dogs search and don't find anything?
What people don't realize, our end goal with all these resources is to find Darius. But what is just as important is using all these resources to eliminate areas to say, you know what, we don't know where Darius is, but we can say...
I'll keep that in mind. Park predators?
We
Okay.
can actually help move the investigation forward and even answer some of those questions that many people have.
Yeah, what about it, Fitzgibbons? Not only do they fail to find any trace of him, like a toy he had, a shoe, a sock, clothing, a shirt, they also don't get a hit from any of the cadaver dogs. So, where is he?
You'll have to give me a few minutes. I'll be right
Either he's
back.
there hiding alive, or he's been completely removed from the area, or those cadaver dogs would have hit on him, even in a bog.
Yeah, you would think, Nancy, and remember, this is a 6-year-old boy, okay? He's not going to cover that much terrain by foot. And you had police search and rescue groups. There were upwards of 400 individuals involved. By the 7th day of this search, they were in line on a grid search, okay, shoulder to shoulder. You had helicopters, thermal imaging drones, people on horseback. You had swift teams, boat teams searching riverbeds and where the swift waters were. So there was a very extensive search that took place here. They've narrowed down and said some of these areas he's definitely not in, no sign of him in there. Okay, so now you're thinking, was there animal activity? There is a high bear population here. What could happen there? Would we find
Still
something?
hit with a cadaver dog, though.
You would still hit with that dog,
Fitzgibbons,
yeah.
if that were the case, if a bear or creature had gotten him, we would still have a cadaver dog hit.
the only thing there is, he could be taken miles and miles away outside of that grid. That would be the only piece there.
By a creature? Because a creature is not going to take a boy miles and miles away. A person would, but not a creature. A creature would stop to eat its victim, not miles and miles and miles away. It would go back to its lair and eat the victim, at worst. I believe, from what I've learned in past cases, that the creature, the imaginary creature, would eat the victim before it got to its lair. A human would absolutely take the child miles and miles away. So,
correct.
Where are you going with that?
No, I'm saying that it's conceivable that a bear could carry its victim quite some distance. So there's that, and also what we brought up before. If there was nefarious play here, right, and there was a human moving him, then that's quite possible.
Yeah, and if a human moved him, we would get a scent dog hit. You remember when Lacey Peterson was taken? Well, that was her body, but a cadaver dog followed her scent all the way from her home on Covina in Modesto, all the way to the San Francisco Bay Marina. Okay, so a regular scent dog would have picked up on him. But then there's another shock to the family.
And another shock to the family of Darius. Kaya Warrior, the 6-year-old playing with Darius at the time he went missing, has now passed away at Children's Hospital from a medical emergency. Investigators say her death was not criminal and not related to Darius' disappearance. Kaya was the daughter of Dallas McDougal's girlfriend, Buffy. They were on the camping trip with Dallas and Darius and participated in the search.
Ann Bremner, high-profile Seattle defense lawyer, I've said a million times, there is no coincidence in criminal law, but we're being told the girlfriend who was on the trip with her boyfriend, Darius's father, when Darius goes missing, now her child, Kaya, also 6 years old, playing with Darius at the time he goes missing, she's dead. What?
No, you're right. There are no coincidences in criminal law, Nancy. You're exactly right. And as the old saying, lightning doesn't strike twice. I mean, it's when I saw that, I thought if I were the prosecutor, I'd be paying a lot more attention to this case.
The search is still on for 6-year-old Darius. Where is he? There's no sign that he's dead. Hence, we are left to believe Darius is alive somewhere. If you know or think you know anything about this child, think of your own children at this tender age. Please dial 403-562-2866. Repeat, 403-562-2866. Now, we remember an American hero, firefighter.
All right. What do you guys think of that? Sorry, I had to run my dog outside for pee. A little chihuahua. Just hang on a sec, guys. Just give me 2 seconds. Sorry about that. Okay. Move along. Everybody bugs you when you're doing something. Okay, so what was I doing? All right. Thanks, Mama Chipmunk. Thanks for that gift membership to Kylie Nails Candy. Welcome aboard. There's been a lot of missing children cases over the years involving campsites, camping, or a rest stop. Years back, John Walsh had one on AMW. Okay. Little boy used the outhouse and vanished. Oh, okay. Huh. Something to look into. You don't think he wandered off, Anna? Well, America's Most Wanted? Okay, I'll look into that. Thanks, Monsters of Chaos. Appreciate that. Mama, could you post Monsters of Chaos's YouTube channel? His link? That'd be awesome. I'm gonna try and get Monsters of Chaos up to 500. I think they do a lot of help for us, so we're gonna help them. Don't think the show is on the air anymore? Okay. Well, we keep looking, right? Might be a link somewhere. Is Andrea around? Is somebody around? Huh. It is a good show. America's Most Wanted. I used to watch that show. David Patties does a lot of videos on missing people in the woods. He has good content, but sometimes he wants to link it to UFOs or Bigfoot. Oh, okay. Too scary for him in my opinion. He seems more social. I don't know, it's strange. Yeah. My understanding, he was playing hide and seek and with the two little girls, and we're trying to figure out what was his last number he stopped at before he disappeared. That's what we're trying to figure out. So, you must be the only mod here. I guess so. Well, if you do happen to visit his channel, visit Monsters of Chaos channel. It's not hard to find. I'm sub to him as well, so you can find it through my channel. Sorry we couldn't post the link. That's okay. AMW 100%, Amy? Lobster. I love lobster. You're shelling lobster? Nice. Right on, Flower. Where was I now? So, damn it. Well, I'll just show his picture one more time. And next time, I will have pictures up this time. when you think you have them and you don't, that's okay. I will make do. We'll send Flower the all the links in it, so when Mama Chipmunk gets back, or she can send them to me. I don't know how we'll do this, but we'll figure it out. So, also link up to Charmaine at True Crime Story Pod as well. She's been collaborating with me. I actually got to meet Charmaine in person, so it was kind of cool. We met a couple of family members as well. Late Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday night sometime. Lethbridge was only an hour away, and she happened to be in Lethbridge, so it was kind of nice timing. I was already searching before she got out to Lethbridge. She had some family stuff going on, so which is all right. And then about 45 minutes later, we ended up meeting up later, and then went up with a couple family members anyways, and got their insight as well. And we were gonna try and give Darius a little bit more publicity. That's where we're at with that. Personally, I think we should be banging on the door of the RCMP, I think, and get some answers that way as well. I'm hoping the family has stepped up, and I saw some posts this week on the weekend with "Please bring me home." If the family has applied, they will look into it, and they may come out. So that's kind of good news. Hey, Elsa, welcome to No Mercy. So that's kind of good news. So last I heard, they were in Ontario, I think, doing a search. So I think they're no longer in Nova Scotia now. So unless something comes forth for the Jack and Millie case. So I've got some exciting news for the channel. I'm gonna do a little bit more stuff this week, a little bit of mix of everything. Dolly's gonna be monitoring me a little bit because I'll be on Turtle Island, his second channel, this coming Sunday, a week from now. So, 6 days from now. So I'm pretty excited about that. So I'll be on Turtle Island, his little survivor game. So I'm actually pretty excited about it. It's not just going to give me exposure, but it's going to give others exposure as well, and a certain grifter too, on top of it. So yeah, Darius definitely needs more exposure. I actually drove from between what's it called now? What's that town called now? Fort McLeod. I went from Fort McLeod to Crow's Nest Pass. There was maybe 1 or 2 signs, if that, of Darius. There was one right on the campsite in Livingstone, and there was nothing after that. So there might have been something in some of the gas stations and stuff like that and everything, but other than that, there was really nothing. So I think it needs more signs down Highway 3. I think it needs a little bit more exposure. The RCMP need to open up a little bit more to the family, I think, to get more answers that way. Going on 9 months. We're already past 9 months now. We're going into July. That will be 10 months. Jack and Millie is coming up this Thursday, for 14 months. So, but Darius deserves as much attention as Jack and Millie does too, in my opinion. So next time I'll have some more pictures up this time. I'll show you, or you can go back to my lives. You can go check them out as well. There are pictures up. I will re-show them again. I'll be doing a couple more. Hang on a sec here. I will be doing a couple more true crime a little bit this week on. I think Mama Chipmunk is actually in Ontario now visiting family, and we're looking into a little bit of a boots on the ground for Justin Evans. We're also looking into, there's a couple of cases that someone's come forward last night and in my email that I'm going to come forward with on as well to talk about. I might come back with, see if there's any more information on Ryan Shishka. I might do a little bit of Nancy Guthrie this week. We'll see. I'm not really following that much of Nancy Guthrie, so I do apologize. I have been following a little bit of Summer Wells, though. I might do a little bit of Summer Wells. And maybe, just maybe, I might do a little bit of Jack and Lily this week. Maybe. I'm just not, it's just too much drama going on right now, and it's two missing children in Nova Scotia. I get it. It really got me interested in the true crime a little bit. However, it's just the amount of drama that's going on right now is just not fun anymore. You know what I mean? Well, I don't mean fun, but you know what I mean, right? Like, just to help out and everything, it's just so negative, and the drama is just too much. So maybe I'll do Jack and Lily a little bit this week. We'll see. I'll see how I feel. But other than that, I'm past 2 hours. The Facebook groups are vicious, in my opinion. Yeah, I agree, Amy. They are vicious. They used to be vicious. I don't know what's going on now, but I did see a post the other day I was not happy about. I'm not even going to elaborate on it, to be honest, or even talk about it for give it that platform anyways. So yeah, so that's where I'm at with that right now at this point. So, but anywho, I might go live tonight. I haven't decided yet. If I do, it'll be about 7:30, 8 o'clock. I believe Charmaine is going to be on in about 10-15 minutes, I believe. I want to go check that out a little bit, see what she has to say. I think she'll be talking about a little bit about Jack and Lily today. So I'm kind of curious what she has to say today and support her channel as much as she supported mine. Do sub up to Charmaine, True Crime Story Pod, and go to check her out in about 10-15 minutes. Otherwise, I'll see you guys there. And that's why I wanted to cut it about 2 hours. I'm glad I got 2 hours in. I am monetized. Do member up. You could be a hunter. You could be a hunter and a prowler, or you can be a wolf howler. It's totally up to you. I'm not in it for the money. Any money I make is actually going to be donated to Darius McDougal search and also to my channel to help to keep the channel going. So, if anything. I'll maybe even put in there, if I can, instead of buy me a coffee, buy me a tank of gas to get me down to Lethbridge, Something along those lines, because gas is expensive. So, that being said, you guys enjoy the rest of your happy Monday. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Next time I'll have pictures up again. If not, go check out my channel and my lives. There's tons of pictures up already from last Tuesday's search. I do plan, there is another search planning, but in due time. I'll be going back, hopefully going back out again. I want to. So it was great to catch you guys in the live today. Mods, thank you for your help today. You're rock stars as always. My success is your guys' success. That's the way I look at it. Monsters of Chaos, thanks for stopping by. Kylie, thanks for stopping by. Corker Key, pleasure as always. Hope we can get you up on the panel. Otherwise, thank you for all my new members. Thank you for your donation today, Anna Pi. I appreciate it. Other than that, you guys enjoy the rest of your Monday, and we'll see you soon. Cheers.